okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. Welcome back, everybody, once again. I get a second chance at saying this now, it seems. But yeah, so Colonel taking a break. I'm joined by Spaz for this semifinals 2 match. We are seeing two very well-known, very good teams here clash in the semis 2. We're seeing Hulk Tuah, and we are seeing I'm just already forgetting. I'm so sorry. Please take over, Spaz, so I can.
So we got a great matchup today. We got Nucleic, who has
That's
been
it.
pretty much dominating their matches left and right. They had a 2-0 sweep during the quarterfinals and just kind of had the overall presence of domination. And then you have the fan favorite, Hulk Tuah, over here. They are pretty much kind of like the fun ones. They've been doing a lot of back and forth, and they have a little bit more freelance in how they play their game. And I am really excited to see these two teams go back to back. And it's going to be really fun to see these two go against each other back to back.
Yeah, I don't like to pick favorites, but looking at Nucleic's team here compared to Hulk Tuah, little bit of rough around the edges in terms of the ranks. We see three diamonds, one plat, which is almost a diamond, plat 1, and then 2 grandmasters up against 2 diamonds, a silver, a bronze, a gold, and a plat. So the rank differential a little bit less in the favor of Hulk Tuah, but they made it to the semis for a reason, so they obviously have the strength to overcome anything they need to, persevere through it. We will certainly see what happens as we get into Hell's Heaven here. But yeah, starting off in the semis 2, best of 5. If anybody has forgotten, we will see what happens as we get into this shortly.
Yeah, but don't forget though, LG, they also had Grandmasters and they lost to people that were low rank. Rank doesn't always necessarily mean you're the best. It just
That's
means
true.
you got some skill. So we might see, like that silver one, he might be top of the leaderboard, same as the bronze. A lot of people say, oh, he's bronze, watch out. Who knows? That might be the #1 MVP of the whole series. We don't know yet.
True.
You know,
But we
and I'm not
also we
saying that's
also
wrong, but they could also get swept, and this could be a 2-minute match, and we could be on to finals.
yeah. I mean, we also don't know what their previous rank was. It doesn't state that. So that bronze could also totally just be a grandmaster in disguise that hasn't played
Exactly.
since season 1 started. So anything could happen. But definitely right now, the way it is looking, it is definitely in the favor of, or definitely in the favor against Hulk Tuah here. But as we wait to go into this, what are your predictions in terms of what we're going to see banned, what we're going to see saved, what we're going to see picked? I know we've already seen these teams before today, so we will certainly see, or we'll certainly have to see what they go ahead and pick here.
Yeah, I would say probably since it's been mainly a group effort to get overall control of the points, I'm gonna guess that we're most likely going to see a tank ban mainly. But we are going against Nucleic, and they do have a good DPS on their team. And I'm gonna guess they may try to target his characters to try to shut him down early. But they may think of him not as being a threat and just do the basics: Psylocke, Storm, probably maybe even a Groot that could also get banned. But we did get a Strange and a Wolverine ban off the bat. First time those have been banned throughout the whole series that we've seen so far. Let's see what the first protected goes to. What do you think that might be protected here for both teams?
They're definitely going to protect whoever the best is on their team. I assume is going to be making the decision here, saying, "Hey, well, I'm probably going to make the most effort here," but it does seem like Hulk gets protected, so not shocking on the side of Hulk Tuah, keeping Hulk protected. We will certainly see what happens as they go into it. It seems like they want to protect Bucky, and then the bands we're probably going to see, I assume, Iron Man, if I had to guess, just because Hulk is saved.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a guess, but Iron Man, Hulk, the Gamma Ray definitely makes a big difference. We'll see what they end up picking here.
Yeah, the Bucky protects really good. His ult can be very great, especially get there it is, as you said, the Iron Man. So that's gonna be off the table. But there's still other team ups that Hulk can do. You have a lot of other ones, and the Punisher Band, of course, a great DPS, easy to use, a very versatile hero to use here. And as we see already, there is a storm going to be locked in, and very detrimental on that, and maybe even possibly a Spider-Man for Nucleic. So this will be nice to start out. Hero yet to pick one in. Magneto coming out. Been a pretty good one, especially on both sides. Magneto's definitely a powerhouse that we've seen time and time again, that he's been underrated going into these matches as we load in to Hell's Heavens.
Yeah, I know you were talking about the other team ups that Hulk has, but unfortunately, actually, every single possible team up that Hulk has is gone because they banned Doctor Strange, Wolverine, and Iron Man. So Hulk doesn't actually have anybody else that he can team up with. Um, so I doubt that even though he's saved, I doubt either side is probably going to pick Hulk just because they don't really have anything to go along with it.
Well, just because the actual team ups are like for the maiden game doesn't mean you can't make a team up. I've seen
That's
many
true.
times where you can use your, it's basically just like any other game. Use your imagination, see what abilities, though they might not actually team up, you might be able to find a good combination of abilities and passives on their own. That's like, oh man, Gamma for Banner, he may be able to be really good with Luna. So as we go in, we're going right to the point. Both teams attacking. Looks like Nucleic is going to be first to touch the point, as Tuah is going to be staying off in the sides.
Here we go. Venom already in the back line. There goes the Venom, though. Didn't get to use his shields. Probably looking to save it for as little as possible. But the Venom team up with the Spider-Man, very, very good. Basically a confirmed kill if he can get that whip in. Spider-Man now taking out 3 of Hulk Tuah's entire team there. Gets half of them gone. Deadlock ends up getting a pick onto Hulk Tuah's Bucky as well, and there goes the Magneto. So they're going to have to go for a full regroup here as Nucleic takes the first point, and that timer starts to tick up.
Yeah, the move on that Spider-Man, being able to go in, get the kill, and get right out is detrimental. You have to shut that down. He has so much maneuverability, and his DPS is crazy. If you don't shut him down, then I'm sorry, but like he's gonna be pretty much a bug that you're gonna want to swap fast. Here we go, Venom and Spider-Man taking on Hentai at the same time, knocking him down, not allowing him to get Heaven at all onto site, and they're gonna be reaching 30% on the point.
Yeah. Here comes the Venom. Venom gets one. Spider-Man kind of just throwing his body into the raccoon here, trying to get him away. Deadlock gets one as well. Here comes out the Cloak and Dagger ult onto the point, and they shut down Hulk Tuah once again. Nucleic is putting on a show right now. Not much that Hulk Tuah can actually do to get around this. They're definitely trying their best, but they're gonna have to make a dent in their defense using their ults most likely. So without anything like a Strange to shut them down, they're kind of just reliant on their positioning and skill alone at this point. They don't have a Groot to take them out of the fight as well, so nothing really to stun them. They're just really looking to kind of push through that defense, shut them down a little bit. But Nucleic is definitely putting in the work to keep that from happening.
Oh, and Spider-Man goes in. He's using his AoE attack, getting huge damage. Triple kill for Tiny Creeper. Huge play, able to team wipe. Even though he lost his life, he's pretty much able to full wipe Hulk Tuah there. And that right there shows how all it takes is one ability, and you can just wipe the whole team with Spider-Man. That's why he is so detrimental in this game. He is definitely one of the most difficult, but if you can get it down, as you can see, you can do pretty much whatever. The damage will be crazy.
And there goes the first point in terms of Nucleic. They get one on the board. That was really just a big shutout in terms of Nucleic there. They really just shut down Hulk Tuah. They didn't really get the opportunity to do much just because they got in the fight and maybe they used a few abilities, but by the time they did that, either Venom was in their face, Spider-Man was in their space, or they were just being picked off by the Bucky. Their supports not really having to put in too much work because Nucleic hasn't taken too much damage. Sure, the Spider-Man and the Venom have taken a hit or two and they've gone down maybe once or twice, but they don't really need them to secure the win. They just need them to dive and get them low so that the rest can actually secure the fight and just put Hulk Tuah back to their spawn.
And exactly, if you're looking at if you look at the stats, almost two of their players almost have near over 10,000 combined, almost right at the breaking point. Whereas it takes almost four of Hulk Tuas to even get to 10,000 for their damage. So that's just showing right now that you have to hit these abilities and make sure that you're hitting them at the right times and the right places to make sure you're getting the full crit that you can get. It's all going to be on who's hitting these hits better and getting the crits off. And with the Rocket Raccoon, that's going to be helping them a little bit better in this next round.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the rocket to try and give them another life, but the issue is, are you either giving them another life or just feeding them more ult energy? And as I say that, here comes the Magneto ult, here comes the Rocket Raccoon ult, here comes the Cloak and Dagger ult. They're absolutely throwing everything on this point to try and secure them that secure them that point, try to get the time going up in their favor. But the Spider-Man now in their backline, putting in that offense as the other Cloak and Dagger on the side of Nucleic comes out, and now they're just focusing one target after another. One goes down. Rocket now about to go down. There he goes. Cloak and Dagger gets rezzed, but doesn't matter. And that's a huge ult. Oh my goodness. Four.
There it is.
Bucky. 4 from the Bucky. Absolutely insane work. Still has it, but obviously Hulk Tuah not going to push far enough for him to use it again. But wow, what a play.
And that right there, that's why you want to save that Bucky. He is detrimental. Being able to use his ult over and over and over again, especially in a close quarters team fight, you're most likely going to get that off about 2 to 3 times. He got that off 5 times. Basically team wiped. It is a overused. Now, you might, if you mistime that one time, that could all go to nothing. If he would have missed that first one, the whole tide could have changed there. That's all about timing and knowing when to do an ult and when not to do an ult. And Venom using his ult right now, speaking of which.
The Venom ult comes out. So does the Luna Snow ult. Out comes the Spider-Man ult. All of the ults are getting used. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw the Rocket ult come out. Keeping this low, though. Spider-Man absolutely obliterating all of Hulk Tuah. They get about 3 different kills individually. The Venom and the Spider-Man working together to take down Hulk Tuah as much as they can here. All they have left are the support ults, which could make a difference in their favor. But
oh, the emo on the Captain America shield. Oh, you gotta love it. That was Tiny. Here. That was Tiny saying, all right, you want to play? Let's play. This is my playground. I'm ready to swing around and basically get what I want to get.
All of the ults coming out here. The Luna Snow, the Rocket ult, the Cloak and Dagger ult goes out as well. Here comes the Groot ult as well. All of Hulk Tuah using this to try and take this point back as they try to keep it away from 99, but all of Nucleic just pushing back onto this point at this point, still not finishing it. Here comes the Bucky ult, gets 1, gets 2, goes for a 3rd. Not sure if he got a kill off of the ult to use it again, but it doesn't matter. They take the point back. Rocket not going to be able to get back in time. This first game goes to Nucleic. Well fought. They tried their best, but wasn't enough in terms of this first match. We'll see if the convergence match makes a difference.
Yeah, that was not a bad showing. They definitely went in, but it was just with that Spider-Man on the board, it was just he was in and out, giving that DPS, and especially going in with his team, not even going solo, going in with the team and just overwhelming them. That's what pretty much won them that whole game there.
Yeah, absolutely well played from that part. We are going to go into Game 2 here, which I believe is the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda going into the Hall of Djalia. So we will see you all shortly as we take a very, very short break before we are sending into Game 2 of the series here. Welcome back, everybody. Moving on to the game 2 of the series here. Team Nucleic already up 1, taking down Tuah in a quick match. Didn't let them get the point barely at all. All they got was 10%, so we will certainly see what happens as we move to convergence here, see if they can get the point at all as Team Nucleic moves on possibly to the finals, and Tuah having to put up a fight to stop that, see if they can come back around. They have the potential, they have the momentum to do it. They just need the right set of circumstances to come back around and take down Team Nucleic, but Team Nucleic obviously doesn't want that to happen, so they're going to work as much as they can to take that out of the possibility.
Yeah, and going into this next round, we could very well still see some new bans coming through. I wouldn't be surprised if the Spider-Man got banned over the Bucky. Although the Bucky on both sides did work, so I don't think that one's going to get banned. I could very well see Spider-Man, but there are a lot of other ones. This one's going to be a little bit more open. I could see the Storm getting banned. I could see Iron Man getting banned. Possibly the Hulk. Just one or the other, the Hulk or the Iron Man, just to knock out that team up like last time. That wouldn't be too surprising. But also the pocket pick of the king himself, T'Challa, he could be very detrimental on this map. Even though it is his map to play on, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like someone hiding that in the background, like, oh, I'm going to pull this out, and like as well as any other heroes. So it's going to be very weird to see if they're going to try to keep the same layout, or if they're going to be like, all right, let's try some other pocket picks that we got. Let's pull out a Psylocke. Let's pull out a Magic. Let's pull out something else. Maybe change it up, because that last round for Team Tuah didn't really go the way they wanted to. They had the right team ups, but just not the things to hit. And we're going to get a Doctor Strange banned off first.
Yeah, there goes the Spider-Man. Not even a second to decide. They absolutely want that Spider-Man gone. I would not be shocked if the Bucky goes as well, but most likely what we're going to see from Nucleic is the Bucky saved. So I assume that Tiny Creeper has another backup that they can play. I'm sure that Spider-Man is not their only character that they play. They seem to be saving the Namor. We'll see who Nucleic decides to save. I assume it will be the Bucky. No, it's Wolverine, actually. Okay, that's an interesting save there. So the Bucky has a possibility to go. They decide to get rid of Luna Snow, and now it is up to Tuah to see what they want to get rid of here. See what it is. Yep, there goes the
Yep,
Bucky.
there's the Bucky. Yep. Yeah, those are two good bands. You knew, hey, these hurt us last time. Let's change their dynamic up. Let's get rid of those two and see what else they can do. Is that one tricks, or is that just the backups? And a Storm has been locked in, as well as an Iron Man, so they know that, hey, Aviation is going to be a play. Now, are we going to do a 2-2-2, or is it going to be a 3-2-1 for Nucleic? And it does look like that they are going to be doing a 3-2-1, but it's a 3 support and 2 DPS for Tuah. So maybe they're focusing, hey, let's let our best 2 shots go in and get the damage, and we'll help them from the back, and just go in as a team. Do not split up. That's what I'm seeing with the 3 supports.
Yeah. But yeah, Tuah starting on defense here. Nucleic having to attack first. We see, obviously, the Gamma Iron Man, definitely a strong switch up compared to the Spider-Man and the Bucky. They obviously also going with a Wolverine, as they saved him on purpose. And then they have the Punisher, as well as the Rocket and the Cloak. So without a Luna, they're really only going to have the Cloak to try and keep this going. Both sides have the Cloak and the Rocket, but Tuah actually has 3 supports with a Loki as well, so they're only running 1 tank, so we will certainly see what happens in this game, but so does Nucleic. They also only have 1 tank. So.
Yeah, but they have the Hulk and the Wolverine team up, which means it's time to go to baseball. We're going to be throwing that bad boy left and right and getting a lot of damage with his abilities.
Yeah, it actually seems like he's already in his arms over on the right side of the point there. Probably going to go for a quick throw, possibly over towards the Loki. We'll see what happens. Yep, actually grabs their tanks, throwing them into the rest of the team there, but their supports end up getting them out. Deadlock does end up getting one onto Namor, but Namor immediately rezzed by the Rocket here. See what happens if they get dived onto by the high ground there. Still working with it, see what they can do. The Loki sends out his clones there with his healing aura. One goes down. Rocket jumps off the map, it seems like, somehow. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely holding their own a little bit better this time around. The 3 healer tactic does seem to be working just a tad, but they are starting to get pushed off the point, but not too bad to where they can't easily get back on it.
Ooh. Takes out the Punisher with the Iron Man ult there. Rushing into their backline, just kind of overloading the Cloak and Dagger here. Out comes the Cloak and Dagger ult, trying to save them, keep them in this fight for as long as they can, take that timer down. It's going to be really hard to take anybody down as both Cloaks use their ults. See what they can do here. Once one runs out, it's going to be chaos.
Yep, and it just hurts having that Iron Man in the sky, just shooting down constantly. It's hard to be looking up and down at the same time, trying to just be like, who do we pick off? Do you take the one in the sky or do you take the one on the ground?
But yeah, Nucleic seems like they have this point in the bag. All of their team goes down there. They could try and keep this up with the Loki clones, but I doubt that he's going to go ahead and teleport to any of them to try and save this. They're probably just going to give them the point here, as Nucleic now has over 4 minutes to move the point as far as they can, and Tuah are going to try and stop them as much as they can.
Oh, here we go. Batter up. Wolverine is in Hulk's hands, ready to go. Is he going to go for a curveball or is he going to go for a fastball? It looks like he's maybe trying to get him from the back lines, throwing past him, and then being able to pinch them from both sides at the same time. That isn't a bad tactic, but sending the Wolverine alone with the health he has isn't really the best. Here we go, throwing it into the backgrounds. Wolverine going in, bringing back Hela was honestly probably the better one to pull back. That's one of the main DPS on that side. Or sorry, not Hela, Namor. I read that wrong. Not a whole lot, no kills.
Iron Man gets 2. Out comes the Cloak and Dagger ult. And here comes the Iron Man ult, goes into the backline, doesn't get anybody, but the Cloak is most likely going to go down. She does. The Cloak ends up getting one onto the Loki as well, and Deadlock finishes this up with the Cloak on his behind to try and wrap this out. Basically just walks forward without any stoppage power from Tuah at all. Probably going to get this point here, but we do see the Punisher ult come out from both sides. We'll see what they can do with it. One goes down, a second goes down, a third goes down. They get the point. And
yeah, just that
Deadlock absolutely just sweeps across their entire team.
It's all that rapid fire DPS. You have the Fury attack from Wolverine. You have the automatic rifle from Deadlock's freaking Punisher. You have Iron Man in the back, in the long range and in the sky. And then the other two, they get to just relax. You're like, hey, we got you in the support. You need a boost, we got a boost. You need a heal, got a heal. And Namor finds himself in between 3 players just to get jumped like a stray cat in the alley.
Yeah, it's like important that Nucleic gets it past that first choke point, because holding there is really easy to do, but out comes the Wolverine ult as he tries to take one with him, but he goes down. Iron Man does end up trading one, but the Namor trades back, and Wolverine gets rezzed across by the rocket there. We see the Cloak and Dagger ult go out. Most likely going to see the Cloak from Tuah as well. They're going to try and keep this on the point as much as they can, but Deadlock ends up getting one onto Namor. Not much death is probably going to happen during this ult here, but they do push back. Groot gets one onto Deadlock there. Well played. But Hulk ults in the back line. Probably not going to be able to do too much with it just because of how slow he is. He does grab one, but he's interrupted as he's taken down into Bruce, and he gets sent back to spawn. And yeah, that was a good hold. Only 3 minutes left on the clock, though.
Yeah, but I don't think they know that the Iron Man is still right above him. No one sees him above, and he has his ult. He might be trying to go for a 5-man ult on here.
See what they can do. Just kind of waiting for the best possible moment.
Yep, here it is.
Here it comes. Oh, unfortunately gets nobody.
He did it a little too early. I would have tried to have them bait it out, but it's hard to bait. The point's basically in the last spot. They've got it right there. What probably would have been best for them to either go all in, team wipe, and have one back, or try to get them to bait out some way to where he could have gotten that ult to at least get one. But from the angle it was, it hit the hit the carrier, and it was unable to connect with anybody else. But that doesn't matter. Deadlock and DK going in and just wiping the floor. They're like, all right, we can't bait you. We're coming in. Knock, knock.
Yeah. All they were waiting on were the right combination of ults to shut them down. They didn't have anything in support to try and bring that back, and they were just shut down by the Punisher ult there. They had the Wolverine as well, but it wasn't really necessary because Punisher basically did all the work himself with his ult. He just absolutely threw down all he could onto the point there. But as I say this, it seems like we could possibly see a switch up from the Iron Man to a Magic and also possibly a Black Panther. So we'll certainly see what happens here.
Oh, man.
They go ahead and decide to lock in here.
Oh, DK switching to a Moon Knight, trying to get the Cloak and Dagger ability to where he can have a Shroud, which will actually be really nice to get those flanks. He can put that invisibility and then walk around that circle and just be a nuisance, pinging them like, bang, bang, I'm over here, but you're not going to know exactly where I'm at. And that's going to give his team like an allowability to not only to defend it easier, but like to basically just bring the distraction. Like, hey, look at me. Don't worry about my team. Just let them kill you. That's how his plan is going to be most likely. He's going to use that ability on the flanks, bring the attention, and basically scatter Hulk Tuah across to where they won't be able to pinpoint one player. They're going to have their attention scattered across all the players.
But it seems like the teams have kind of flipped their comps a little bit. We see Hulk Tuah now with the Iron Man and Banner team up, and then we're only seeing now 2 supports from the side of Nucleic. So we'll certainly see what happens as they go here into this first push, see how long they can hold them, try to hold them as much as humanly possible. The Groot obviously going to put his walls down, try and block them, get some kind of I like to call it the Fortnite setup, just build a crank 90s on the map.
Yep, and honestly, Nucleic going a 2-2-2 setup is not bad. You're on defense, play the safe bet, try to secure the win. And honestly, right now, they're able to just keep them in a narrow vision and just light them up as they come through, and taking at least a quarter of the health as they go through that corridor. Now, as you can see, all the 3 healers, though, that's kind of evening it out. So we'll see as they get really close here how this is going to turn out.
Yeah. Deadlock already taking 1 out of the fight, gets Hulk down. The rest of Nucleic kind of just walking forward a little bit here, but Prickly does trade onto Deadlock here. Let's see what they could do is the rest of them push forward. Deadlock does get rezzed, but ooh, that's a very, very, very good Moon Knight ult. The Groot wall ended up just forcing them to stay in that ult. They didn't really have anywhere they could go. And DK with a 5K to his name. He is not DK0, he is DK6. 6 kills to his name. He just wiped out the entirety of Hulk Tuah's team.
See, that corridor was just perfect for DK. It was close range, get the AoE, and build your ult up. And as we can see, he got 2 to 3 kills just from the ult there and was able to clean up the rest after hitting him with the AoE with his good old E attack. And it looks like they're just going to be holding him off right there, putting the group wall up, being like, all right, let's buy some time, see what we can do. Let's try to lower the time, let them get less and less availability to even get the point out. We still have yet to see them even touch the point and even get any progress on it. It's been contested or not on it at all. So here we go. Captain America going into the middle, fighting with the Groot, trying to pull the attention away so the rest of his team can come out. Another DK ult going in, getting another 3-piece. He's just able to build a 4. He's just able to build his ult up so fast that he has it by the time they return.
Yeah. I mean, they have 0.00% of this point captured, and now with a minute 30 left on the clock, they're going to have to put in the work here. They do have 3 ults, 2 of them being support ults, but we do see the Deadlock ult, we do see the Punisher ult from Deadlock. Definitely has the potential to put in as much work as it did when they were on offense, so they could totally just shut them down using that alone. The Groot walls come out from both sides here as they dive the point.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's the Deadlock right now. He's just going to hold them off.
Ooh, shut down.
A DK almost up to another ult again on Moon Knight. 7%. If he gets this off again while they're all grouped up like that, it's going to be detrimental. and he gets taken down. Thank goodness for Team Tuah. They now have the pressure and the AoE away. Time to single out, find the weakest one, and start getting to the point and start getting progress on it. As we can see, they're going to get their first point. Sweet. That is the progress they needed, especially with 39 seconds. They need to try to get as much as they can get. Don't worry about kills. Worry about point. Work together. Take out who you need to take out. And it looks like Nucleic is like, you know what? Screw it. Let them have it. Let's regroup, and let's get ready to just hold them here. Because all we got to do now, they might have the point, but that's not the end of the game. You still got to get across the map with that. And here we go again. Another AoE just pinging every single member of Tuah, keeping them all together. And there goes 2 kills for DK.
DK absolutely putting in the work right now. Gets a third. And then Deadlock cleaning up the rest here as Banner's going to be taken down. There he goes. But yeah, only 2.5 minutes to their name to try and push this to the halfway point. There aren't 3 points on this map. This map only has 2. So you've got to push it to that halfway point all on your own without a second checkpoint to make it a 33% difference. So you're going to have to put in a lot of work here. They do have 4 ults in the side of Tuah, so we're going to see what happens here. The Hulk ult comes out, but so it does the Mantis ult to try and shut down that Groot ult. Here comes the Squirrel Girl ult. All of the ults are coming out. I would not be shocked if we saw Tuah's Groot ult, but now here comes the Punisher from Deadlock. Deadlock gets 1, Groot gets 1, DK gets 1, Deadlock gets 3. Mantis is revived, but it doesn't really matter. Time is ticking down, another minute off the clock, and all they really did was not push it at all. They have, yeah, Nucleic has returned the point right back to where it started.
Yes, but of course, even though it's going backwards, they still get the furthest distance pushed for the tiebreaker. Even though it's not going to matter, they got to get it all the way to the end like Nucleic did. So they need to be going, but they also need to not go too fast. You don't need to be too hasty. All it takes is one wrong ult, and you can mess up the rest of the match. You have plenty of time. You have a minute. Group up. Get the kills that you need to get. Don't focus on the people you don't need to worry about. The people to worry about is DK and Deadlock. And just like you see right there, they group up, and they know he has his ult. He almost has it every time they come back, so they need to be expecting it.
But here comes all of the ults. They just keep trading off ults every single fight. This side of their team gets ult, and then this side of their team gets ult, and that's just all they've been doing. Now with 50 seconds left on the clock, they are running out of time to move this forward. We see now the Cloak ult coming out. Gonna try and stall just a little bit, but decides to leave the ult for a little bit. Seems like Nucleic not going to bother with chasing her inside of her ult, so they push back to try and get a better positioning to hold this off.
Yep, and Deadlock almost getting his ult, and there's another DK. It's a 4K!
It's been seconds, and he already has his ult back. He is earning it so fast. They're just grouping up, giving him so much percentage, and then it just shuts them down. 15 seconds left. They're going to have one opportunity to push this from where they are now to the halfway point.
Well, it won't even matter. Deadlock has his ult. He'll be able to just hold the site and just use, like he is right now. He's going to use the ult and just say, you know what? Let's waste the time. I'm just going to kill you until the game's over as such. Remarkable game by DK and Deadlock, both ranging over 50,000 damage. And 4 of the 6 teammates of Nucleic had over 12,000. Great game by them. They played that remarkably, hitting the shot accuracy pretty much well over 50% on both of them.
Yeah, and I am not shocked in the slightest to see that Moon Knight MVP. Well played from DK, absolutely shutting them down in every turn. Same with Deadlock. They were an absolutely incredible duo in this second game. Moving on to the third, it's going to be a pure payload map, so no point to capture, but if that last match was anything to speak on the matter, they are going to have a hard time pushing past Nucleic. Tuah definitely going to have to switch some things up because now they know that, well, crap, Spider-Man and Bucky are a problem, but now Punisher and Moon Knight are a problem. So who do we actually ban? What gave us the most grief? And honestly, it's really hard to decide because Tuah didn't really get far in either game. So they're just going to have to make a choice and hope it's the right one.
Yeah, I think, honestly, being able to keep one of the two open for themselves, because they did great with the Bucky. I don't think the Bucky should be the one to be banned in this case, because they themselves didn't do bad with it. They got some good ult kills themselves. It just wasn't as timed as Nucleic is getting 4 or 5 in a row. They're getting them. It's just they need to be choosing like, okay, are we hurting ourselves with our bans, or are we basically overthinking the bans? Think simplistic. But the main things you need to look to is Deadlock and DK as of right now. But you can't remember Tiny with the Spider-Man. You bring Spider-Man back into it, he's going to be detrimental as well. So it'll be very interesting on what these next bans are going to be. I could see probably a whole different ban list. They could say, screw it, let's ban some other people. Let's open the doors and just duke it out. Little boxing match in the middle.
Yeah. But let me go ahead, switch this over here. Let me see, double check what map we are going to for the third one here as I double check. Yep, so it seems like we're going to the newest map added to the roster. So we are going to the Empire of Eternal Night Midtown for the payload push map. So we're definitely going to see what they do on a newer map. It could change things around, but I know from experience that Moon Knight is very, very good on Midtown, just because there's a lot of close quarters, a lot of walls. The payload tends to push past really tight corridors. There's also a lot of different high grounds that Moon Knight can go to. So it's definitely going to be an interesting thing to see, but Spider-Man probably won't do as well on this map again because of the close quarters. A lot of parts of the maps are actually inside. So we'll definitely see what they end up picking, but if they do end up deciding to ban Spider-Man, that will be an interesting ban just based off of probably lack of map knowledge is what you could chalk that up to.
You know, I really wouldn't be surprised to see a Magic play in this. Since this could be so close quarters, Melee is probably going to be on the board for this. Magic, Wolverine, um, let's see, Captain America. That's another technical melee. He does have some range attacks, but he is mainly melee. And seeing these guys getting some close-up fights, but of course, if DK's on on Moon Knight and you're close to each other, we're gonna have a repeat, and he might be able to hit a 50 bomb this time. So you got to really pick and choose which ones you want to play. You either need to play super up close or go a little distance. Seeing a Black Widow come out, try to have somebody an observation for Hulk Tuah, being able to watch down and see from a distance. That wouldn't be a bad pick for them. But although that might not even be on their choice, they're like, screw it, we might go a Hawkeye instead. But we'll definitely probably see a Magneto. Magneto is probably going to be a great tank, and I wouldn't be surprised if a Cloak and Dagger is chosen again.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, so no break this time around. We're going to go straight into the next game here shortly as both teams ready up and get ready to go. So we will certainly see what happens here. So as we go ahead and start up the game, we're going into Midtown. Newest map. We'll see what Hulk Tuah decides to do when it comes to bans. Definitely going to try and figure out what gave us the most grief. But it's definitely going to come down to what Hulk Tuah can do against Nucleic.
Yeah, and I wouldn't honestly be surprised if a Thor got played. It's gonna be so close. Thor has a great AoE on his ult. If you mix that with the Moon Knight, DK could very well get the 5Ks again if you match those two together. But of course, the way they did it, I think the Groot's definitely either going to be played or banned because his versatility. But I think this whole ban for the rest of this games are going to be DPS made. Get rid of the DPS. Try to see if there's a weak spot within Nucleic's DPS calendar.
No ban coming out from Team Nucleic. Not shocking. Kind of leave as much open as they can here. They do decide to ban Spider-Man. Definitely an interesting ban based on the map itself. There's not very many places that Spider-Man can actually maneuver around without being out in the open, so definitely an iffy pick there in my opinion, but saving the Doctor Strange. We'll see who Nucleic decides to save. They decide to save Black Widow, of all people. Then I assume they're just going to ban nobody.
Maybe not, though. They might try to start picking on them, being like, hey, either they may also be doing the no bans as like a way of saying, hey, we don't care who you have. We're going to be fine with who we got. And that could be taken two ways, as kind of tilt them or just to play in general. And there's going to be a double no ban. So my thing is how Nucleic's looking at it. We know who we're good with. Let's see who you're good with. This is a call to them saying, hey, if you want to ban, cool. We're not. We're ready to fight. Let's get the game going. And they're going to ban the Rocket, which is really weird because they've been using the Rocket themselves.
Yeah, I mean, so that opens up the possibility for a lot of DPS changes on Nucleic's side. So Hulk 2 are definitely going to have to work out a few kinks to get around Nucleic here. But does seem like we're going to see a Black Widow this time around, as well as a Storm. We're going to see 3 supports, and the only tank on Nucleic's side will be Doctor Strange. In terms of Hulk 2, they have so far Luna, a Cloak, a Groot, and a Doctor Strange, and then a Storm as their final pick here alongside the Namor. Um, Definitely an interesting side to debate how well this game is going to go in Hulk 2's favor compared to Nucleic, who seems to be unstoppable at this point. But as we go through this, we're going to have to see what Hulk 2 can do in terms of the defense here as they move to defend against the payload. But it's going to be definitely an interesting game. They're going to have to change a few things up to make this work.
Yeah, as you said, Nucleic going to 3-2-1 with the healers. I think they did see how Hulk 2 was using that, and it did help them in that match. It just didn't help them win. And I think they're like, hey, let's see if that works for us. Let's see how this could go. We can keep DK deadlock alive. And then Tiny, he's going to be in Black Widow. Like I said, he's going to be holding the long angle and just probably pinging them from a distance.
Yeah, that's already what's happening as Groot gets very low health here. They're trying to fight for this point. They already begin to push it forward a bunch. Loki clone up on the high ground there. Storm just kind of floating around as she kind of goes to low health. But the Black Widow just kind of picking them off one by one here. Black Widow does end up getting one. Deadlock now on Mantis gets another kill from the Widow. Now a 2K here. The way they've been flipping this around, they've just been giving different people different opportunities to just destroy Hulk 2. They haven't really given them much of a chance at all to try and give them any room to breathe in the slightest.
Yep, that is true on that. But that also just shows how much game sense and how much knowledge of all these characters and heroes that they have. Being able to have a roster this big and be able to switch off like, okay, we can't play this character. Okay, we'll just play this style. Is huge. Being able to switch off and not just have 2 or 3 ways and having more than one way to play is going to help you in all kinds of games, not just this game. And Tiny just picking people off with that sniper. Like I said, being able to hold those long-range picks and not even have to be in the fight face-to-face and basically be back with the point is huge. He's able to basically take half the health off these people, and his teammates just clean it up.
Yeah, I mean, Nucleic right now has just been walking forward. They've just been staggering all of Hulk 2. They really just need to gain their footing again, gain their ground to try and actually put up a good team fight here. But so far, Black Widow has just been putting the work in, kind of shutting them down, forcing the supports to just keep focusing on the tanks and not really focus on one another. But as I say this, ooh, 2 Storm ults, both on one person. The absolute BM of that is insane.
Oh, man. I didn't even think of that. That's why they chose Loki. That's huge. Being able to use 2 Storm Cloaks at the same time, the amount of damage you can get off, even though it didn't help them now, it can go off many times. So it honestly was not a bad play. It just didn't pay off for DK and Chris.
Uh-oh. Ooh, that's rough. That's a really good flank from the Strange here. Out comes the Cloak ult. Hulk 2 uses their own Strange ult, does actually counter it back in their favor, so they have finally stopped this cart, but with 3.5 minutes left on the clock, not much has been done because they've already moved this well past the halfway mark.
Yeah, and that was a good comeback from Hulk. There's like, okay, we're ready to stand our ground. We're already halfway. You're going no farther. And that was a great response, especially to the last 2 matches. I think that they're going to start turning this around and start playing more together. As you can see, they're not staying as Groot, but they're not going solo on these fights. They're able to fight together. They're calling out who they're attacking and not trying to all attack different people at different times.
Storm is definitely an interesting pick in the terms of Hulk 2 because Storm flying around, it makes a really easy target for Black Widow to focus on. But it's the same thing in terms of Nucleic because Namor is also really good at targeting a flying target just because of how easy it is to hit them when there's really nothing in the way. And as I say that, Prickly does end up getting 2, 1 onto both of their DPS here as they now try to come back from this and try to get the ground again to push forwards.
Yeah, been Deadlock just trying to get a sleep on someone. He does get one on Psych, but it doesn't last long enough for him to actually get the kill. A lot of Tuah grouped up right now. All it would take is one ult, and they would go down again. Storm ult and Loki ult is up.
Uh-oh. There go the support of Tuah, but in turn, Psyche and Prickly do end up getting the rest of the cleanup. So I'm not sure if what they're doing is working. It seems like they're just going for more of a fun play in terms of what Nucleic is doing, and Tuah is just taking this very seriously to try and stop them. So as we see now, DK switch off to Magic here, and Tiny now goes to Black Panther. I think they're probably going to be taking this a tiny bit more seriously than they have been.
Yep, I think they kind of regretted showing them like, hey, we're not going to ban. I think it flipped the switch for Tuah. And like I said, a Magic, this is the place. And a Black Panther, it's time to box. Here comes Tiny M with the DK. Going in, back and forth. Oh, fucking Tiny gets one. Takes him down. Chris gets another. Oh, it's just all together. They just sweep him. They're like, okay, you want to play? Time to get serious. Tiny coming in, cleaning up with the 3K.
Yeah, I mean, they swapped off. They definitely said, all right, this isn't working. Let's try to take this a little more seriously. And now it seems like Tuah also going to flip around the script a little bit, change up. Psyche changing off of Storm, going to Star-Lord. But yeah, now with 2.5 minutes left on the clock, they've really only lost a minute to their little bit of fun that they're having, but now they only have to take it a little bit further to get to the end and then try to put a stop to Tuah as they get put on offense.
DK on the back lines, able to pretty much divert 2 of the players' attention, going in, just basically in, out, teleport. He's just going in, blocking him. There goes a triple kill for Tiny with the Black Panther, quadra kill, penta kill for Tiny. Able to almost team sweep on his own, going in and just proccing and getting the AoE and just demolishing Tuah.
Yeah. Right now, it does seem like Tuah does have a good amount of ults in their name, so they're probably going to use those to try and put a stop to Nucleic at this point, but Nucleic hasn't really seemed to have a need for their ults. They've just been using one or another here and there, and it just works in their favor because they just keep using ults that basically wipe out the entirety of Tuah's team.
Yep, and here comes the Magneto ult. Can they stop it? It does not connect, though.
Oh,
Tiny... No. Tiny going in. Chris also in the Black Panther. They're both going at like, all right, let's hit them together. But the Namor is going to stop Chris on that and DK. And it is just going to be Tiny up above behind the lines. I don't think they see him, though. We could see another Tiny 4K. Here he comes. Zipping left and right.
Yeah, I mean, where do you even look at this point? You have to, as a healer, you have to look out for the Magic, you have to look out for the Black Panther, you have to look out for anybody who needs heals. You're just getting overwhelmed. There's not much you can do. DK does get taken down, but Heroish getting a nice trade onto the Magneto as they just push the car basically to the end here. They're going to have to make a final stand at this point. Are they even going to try and touch? There they go. Agamotto comes out, so does the ult from Mantis. They get onto the point, but they don't have any ult to their name, so they're going to have to try and put a stop to this because the Black Panther is going to get his ult soon, and you know what happened last time.
Yeah, it's going to be very detrimental. They need to try to get as many of Nucleic down as it is, but it's just they can't stay alive. Venom's going to be going down in the next little bit unless he retreats like he is. And, yep, there it is right there. But they were able to stall them. 21 seconds left on the clock. If it goes to overtime, that's not a lot of time to play for Nucleic. So Tuah, they had a good stop there in the middle. If they can use that kind of maneuverability on the offensive, they could very much have the advantage going into a possible overtime if they can get it to the end.
Yeah. Probably going to try and switch it up, though, in terms of Nucleic. They're going to go for a more heavy defensive style here. We see the Adam Warlock, the Magic, the Cloak, now a Star-Lord, possibly an Iron Fist, but changes over to Black Panther, and we see a Strange, and the Cloak now hovering over. Going to switch over to Luna Snow here. Going for the heavy defense, but also that really, really like offensive style of defense where they're just going to have the Magic and the BP and their Black Panther in their background, as well as the Star-Lord to go for a little bit of that off-angle pick damage. Just see what they can work with here.
Yeah, and I love seeing the magic, being able to see those teleports going around left and right, using the portals, and just discombobulating the enemy team of Hulk Tuah. It is just if you see a magic on your left and then you see it on the right, you're gonna be bewildered because you're like, okay, where they're coming next, and then you have a Black Panther coming right at your face, and you're like, well, you're just overwhelmed because you don't know who to focus. So I do think off the bat we do see Tiny and DK together. It looks like they are going to try to go for a flank or a head-on attack against Tuah.
The seconds already ticking down here. Magic low on health, but there goes the Luna, absolutely targeted by both the Black Panther and the Star-Lord as she goes down. Black Panther pushing back to his team, most likely going to try and get heals. They're pushing back now, trying to get as much done as they can. The Magic and the Black Panther just absolutely overwhelming them. Psyche does get a nice trade onto Tiny Creeper here. He gets a second onto the Magic, so both of their backliners are put down, but the Star-Lord does get another kill onto the Luna as Psyche gets a fourth before he's taken out.
Man, Psyche really showing his plays here today. He's been doing really good and kind of helping get these picks that need to be gotten for Hulk Tuah. They're staying in the zone. They're not over pushing, and when they do, they see the kill, they go for it. They don't just let them retreat. They push them and try to get that little pick because all it takes is one kill, and you could get maybe 20 meters. You don't know. And right now, Nucleic is pushing back a little bit. Probably on the safer side, they're like, okay, let's give them a little bit. Let's regroup. They are a little bit in the close range there, but now they're in the open. Let's see if they can get a little bit more range with the Bucky and the Star-Lord, being able to get a little bit more health taken off.
Yeah, a lot of people low on health here as they try to go for the Star-Lord already in their back line. They do end up switching over to a Bucky as the Bucky ult comes out, gets one. Probably going to go for a second here when he uses it.
And a Groot.
There it is, waiting till he's low health to try and secure that kill, but Groot does end up getting healed way too much for it to happen. Does actually get another one, and out comes the Bucky ult. Gets a total of 4, it seems like. It didn't look like the Bucky was actually going to be
again.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like the Bucky was actually going to be able to secure much of that, but he did end up getting a total of 4 with his ult, so definitely used it well. He saved it for the Groot to be low on health before he used it again, kind of staggering his ult.
It's like he's switching off to Moon Knight, probably trying to get a little bit AoE, since it is going to be a little bit more long range in the open app. He might be like, hey, let's try to get some more AoE so we can focus on getting these picks faster and better. But he goes down.
Absolutely huge. Wow, a 4K, no, a 5K from one Strange ult. That shuts them down. Wow.
Holy crap. Like, what do you say to that? Whenever you go around the ready to go and you just get wiped. Like, what do you do to that? Oh, it looks like Smiles may have disconnected for Nucleic. Oh, it looks like a Strange portal from behind, possibly able to do something. Don't know if Smiles is able to connect or not. We might get technical, but for now we're still going.
Still a few seconds left on the clock before before they get to the checkpoint here.
And here he goes again.
It may not even need Smiles here. No, they get him down. All right. I wonder if we are going to get a possible technical timeout here. I'm not sure if you can actually do that in Marvel Rivals, but...
Oh, it looks like he's able to rejoin. So we're all good. It does suck because if they end up losing the round, they could say like, hey, I disconnected. All right, like, is there going to be a little bit of, like, help for that? But it looks like it's just going to keep going. It's not really too bad. It's only been about 10 meters that they've gotten since Smiles has been gone. He just probably go load in probably in the next, I'd say probably 20 seconds. There he is right now. He does have his ult, thankfully. If he would have lost that, I would have been a little mad myself. It's like losing progression in a save game. But Hulk Tuah, they're going to abuse this. Like, heck, it's a 6v2 right now on the point. We're going to push it. We don't care if your player's gone. You should have had good internet. That's how they're looking at it.
Yeah. But now with 2 minutes left on the clock, they do have to push it a little bit further, which I'm sure Nucleic is not going to let them do, as Star-Lord a little bit on the left there. A lot of ults in reserve to be used here. We'll certainly see what happens, but Star-Lord gets one on the left there, trying to go for another, gets two, out comes his ult, gonna try and get as many as he can, gets three, gets four, see if he can get
Fishing
any
in a
more,
barrel.
gets five, can he secure the six? No,
And Chris steals it. Chris stole it from his teammate. He's a bad teammate for doing that. No, but no, he almost got it. That was a great play by Deadlock. He flanked. He waited for the perfect opportunity of they're not paying attention. I'm gonna make them pay, and he made them pay indeed. Although he almost lost his life right now, down to 10 HP from that shot. Don't know how much damage he got from Prickly there, but it hurt.
Trying to do what they can here to get back control of this point. The Black Panther in the background here. Down goes one, down goes two. Black Panther is traded off by Prickly, but out comes the ult from Bucky. I'm not sure if it's actually going to get another again, perhaps. Psyche does get one, but he trades off as he uses Khonshu. Not sure that was the best opportunity to use his ult, but Deadlock has been... That's an interesting ult. The revive onto the Strange, I guess that's not the weirdest way to use that, but I would have saved that for a team fight.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say earlier. The Adam ult and revives. Like earlier today, we saw one. He was in a 1v4 and he brought his team in, and they got killed because of it. You got to make sure you're timing these at the best spot. Now, of course, Chris, he probably just did it to get Hero back up there to use the portal or the Agamotto to stop them because he was on his own near the point. So there is a way to think about that, but is it going to be detrimental? We don't know. They're still holding their own up there on the line.
Trying to take out the Luna now. No Luna ult to try and stop this point here. Psyche does get one onto Creeper. We see the Cloak and Dagger ult come out. They have a chance to try and pull this all the way, but it seems like Nucleic is probably going to have a chance to try and drag this back, see if they can stop.
Oh, we're in overtime.
Point. We are in overtime.
We totally didn't even pay attention to the time. They have to get this push in to the next checkpoint to at least get some time to finish the game. And they should be able to get the checkpoint. I think they're just going to give it to them and go on to an extended timer. But it doesn't look like a Nucleic is going in on this. Psyche trying to hold off and damage as much as they can to just wipe out Nucleic. 3 of the members down. Oh, Chris comes back. Psyche just trying to ping him. Down goes Smile.
As long as they can.
Psyche coming in clutch, being able to hit these people as they come through the doorway. He's like, I'm not going to get the kill, but I'm going to mess you so you get killed for the next one. And boom, time reset, 1:30 on the clock. It's doable. All you have to do is get more than 21 seconds because that's going to give you more distance in the overtime.
Yeah. See what they work with here. Nucleic going to go for a little bit of a regroup. They've got Luna ult in reserve. The rest of them are going to have to build their ults back up. In terms of Tuah, they've got a lot of ults being built. They have the Doctor Strange ult as well as the Punisher ult almost built. They have the Black Panther and the Groot ult already saved up in reserve to be used. Prickly does end up getting one. But as the Black Panther ult is used, he gets taken out, so unfortunately didn't get much use out of that. But here comes the Punisher ult. Trying to stop it with the Luna ult, move around in circles to try and shut it down, but down goes the Strange. Gonna try and keep this going. Black Panther now in the back line, trying to take them out as much as possible.
30 seconds on the clock. They've got to get up. Yep, they've got to get this push past, destroy that Groot, and get that up there. You need to get it on the point because right now you're losing time for the overtime. At this point, you just need to get it on the point and do not stop pushing. Stick together as a group and just keep pushing it up. Huge team fight on the point.
Here comes the Luna ult. Trying to keep this up for as long as they can. Taking them into overtime.
Oh, I have Agamotto coming out from Hero. Huge.
Oh, that's rough. That's probably it. Yeah, there it goes. Well played. They almost had it right at the end, but down goes Tuah. Nucleic takes it 3-2-0, putting Tuah out of the tournament. Well played. Nice try, but Nucleic just had that little bit left in them at that final point to shut them down.
And of course, you got to show Tiny Creeper. Showing work on that Black Panther definitely helped them. Being able to go in and get those quadras, those pentakills as Black Panther definitely helped them on that attack and definitely helped sustain the match. But of course, Hulk to it, they did not do bad, especially on that last match. They did great. They were able to hold them off at a great time. It's just they couldn't get the heroes to line up and they couldn't get the kills to line up to help secure the game.
Quite unfortunate. They almost had it. They were very close to trying to come back. Possible reverse sweep in the making, but it was taken away from them, stripped away. We will go ahead and see you both, or see all of you in the finals as we get to that, but we are going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break here before we get into that. Team Nucleic, I believe, versus XOXO. So we will see you all then, and we will see you all shortly. Thank you for sticking around. See you in a bit.